In 3, 2, 1, we go. Alright, so let's talk about the investment this time. And just before you're going to listen to me, mind that this one is for the ASX, the Australian Stock Exchange. It's not really for US stocks, but some of the practices, I think the logic can be applied anywhere. So today I want to talk about some of the investment strategies that I picked up from the beginning that worked out pretty well. But again, you don't have to take my advice 100% because the time changes, things changes, and what I'm talking about right now may not happen in future. But let's see how well this video will age. So right now we're in a time of the coronavirus, and especially we still can feel some of the impacts on our economy, on everything else. But the thing is, the market right now is getting much more bullish comparing to much more bearish style we had like 6 months ago, not talking about 1 year. So I can see that the markets are actually improving pretty well. Like we are not talking about the technological markets. Like for instance, all of the technological markets, they now are, I would say, more or less overpriced. Like not all of them, of course, but the majority. If you look for the US stocks such as Zoom, etc., like because they highly improve the way for us to work from home. But of course, some of the stocks were really impacted. And some of the companies that I want to talk about are, of course, the travel companies. And in today's highlight, I want to talk about the Qantas. So logic is pretty simple here. Because of the coronavirus, this travel is completely stuck. It's not stuck on a local level. We still can get a, let's say, plane and then go to another state, at least within Australia, but overseas is more or less locked. But we all know that with the vaccines coming out, with the vaccine passports and so on, border restrictions are still going to be eased up. I just don't believe that because of the COVID we are going to be stranded forever. Like it's just hard to believe. At this point, some of the stocks, they still represent a very good bargain. And one of this bargain would be Qantas. So Qantas is the Australian airline. Basically, they have almost a monopoly in this country. There were some other players such as, again, Virgin, Rex, Regional Express, etc. But, I mean, they still are, but of course, these are uncomparable to the Qantas. Qantas is a giant. And of course, Qantas was super hit by the coronavirus. We all know that the travel, like, it's completely destroyed at some point. So, but the stock pretty much recovered very well. I still remember back in my wardrobe there is a notice when I purchased the Qantas for $2. Of course, I sold it when the price was like 4 or 3, I don't remember, but it was a good income. And yeah, like the price really dropped significantly. And if you look right now, let's say the price of a Qantas is $5, 5 and 5 and 16 cents. If you look at the charts and then see how does it perform over the time, we will see that, yeah, like this is the clear picture. So it's quite visible that in March, like things got really bad. So we know that, let's say, in January 19th, December, it was one of the peaks. And then there was a slow decline, and then following February, and then this is when the news about the virus started to go in, and then poof, we have a super steep slope going down. Like literally from, think about that, let's say before the virus, something like $7 and $5 per share to almost 2.4 actually, to like $2. This is just incredible. And and then after that, of course, the price started to improve, but then we know that for travel, like everything is still closed. When people started to get a bit more bullish, the prices started to go up, but then it started to go back down, and then we are basically on this roller coaster of up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you look for the recommendations, what people say, not what the Goldman Sachs or Morningstar quantitative, the Goldman Sachs, of course, increased the target price for 6.38. It's understandable. like at least by the end of this year, Qantas stock should go a bit up, at least at some level. I don't believe that it's going to be stuck at $5. And of course, by quantitative, yes, it's like, but it's 27th of March. Oh yeah, this is basically the recent one. So 565, yep, it's definitely going to come to the stage unless there is a second point of the virus. And if you look here, we will see that, yeah, like for instance, from something that came from my experience, one of the biggest batches of Qantas since the March that I purchased was recently, and I purchased the Qantas at 5.5 around, and it dropped. Again, I'm not selling stocks like when I buy them and the next day I sell them. So this is something that I want to keep, but of course I would have made a bit more in the future. Since now again the price dropped to 516, and if I have a look on my portfolio, so in my portfolio, for instance, the Qantas, I purchased for, I purchased for $5.44, and now it's $5.01. So considering the fact that I purchased around $80,000 of Qantas at that point, I have a loss of $4,000. So yeah, I mean, again, there's nothing frustrating here because yeah, I'm just sure that the price is going to go up. But yeah, like we just say, if I purchase it at this stake, I would have already like $4,000 on top of that. Yeah, of course, today the price changed significantly. Like again, it added $2,500 on top, but we'll just see with the time. So the main kind of driver for the Qantas stock to go up is that again, the coronavirus vaccine. We do have vaccines. They're getting rolled out everywhere. Some of the first bubbles to be opened with Australia would be New Zealand, Singapore, and at some point I think US I don't think so. Yeah, New Zealand and Singapore, at least let's put these two countries together. And yeah, this is when the Qantas stock is going to go up. It's going to skyrocket because people will start getting into travel. People are thirsty for traveling. So I kind of predict the Qantas price to go up by around $7 by the end of this year, like if nothing horrible happens. So that's why I'm extremely bullish for the Qantas. Again, I put a pretty good amount of money to confirm my bullishness for this airline company, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Of course, the reason why the stock right now. So again, if you go back to the chart, and then we come here. So the reason why it actually dropped from 15th of March from 5.5 to what we have right now, not right now, but on 29th, what do we have, to $5, is just because again the coronavirus outbreak in Brisbane. So if we didn't have this outbreak, I'm sure that the price would still continue to go a bit up. I would expect it to go beyond 5.5, maybe even closer to 6. But since another outbreak, another interruption of people's plans, yes, Qantas is gonna be always get this thing reflected on the chart. So yeah, that's why if you're looking for investment, I still recommend Qantas. I recommend it in the long term because you see, you can't get super right with the price. Maybe if you purchased it yesterday, that you would gain like again 3% on top of that. But for long-term game, 100%. For long-term game, I expect something more than $6.5. And yeah, it's gonna definitely improve the situation with the vaccines and people traveling around. So yeah, Qantas is definitely a buy for me. I'm going to put some other updates if situation changes, but I do hope that my prediction is going to go up. So yeah, let me know if you have any comments about again travel industries or airlines, and yeah, we can have a chat about that one.